want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
Hey, Hog Twins here. Check out our friend Matthew Spirit at his podcast at the DUM Show and his website. Yeah, don'tunfriendme.com. Yeah.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What's going on, Dumb Nation? Amy's really close, but that's okay. Amy, wonderful to see you. Stop leaning so much, so close. Jeez Louise, I already tried to tell you.
I was on my phone. I was texting my lender.
It looks good, though. That's okay. Slam it down a little bit louder so everyone in Nova Scotia can hear it. I hope now that your mic's working. Listen, folks, Amy's going to sound better than she ever has. Her internet, first of all, we got an upgrade here in our little town, so we're very excited. I mean, it's really good. And she can actually talk over me now. And normally when I'm talking, she cuts out. But now she was just saying what a dick I was a few seconds ago before we came on, and I could hear it clear as day. It was really great. Olivia, hi.
Oh my gosh. Hello. I'm here.
I like your eyes.
I do too. You look like so cute today.
Thanks. I hate allergies. I really.
You're ready
really
for baseball. So you're so ready for it. You were talking about base. I mean, the Avs are having some of the best run that they've had. Obviously, they turned it on in the first week. Then in the last couple of weeks of the season, they're just like, okay, it's time to start playing hockey now. They're scary good right now. I mean, scary good. But we're still in hockey season. All right, I got to get the gorilla out of the room. People are like, Matt, why are you wearing pantyhose? Why do you look like Allen Iverson? You know, so it looks like I'm ready to go shoot. Ready to go join the NBA. This is a compression sleeve, and I used to wear these working out all the time, and specifically like when I was like cut. I wore them because they're great for the body and they're great for the blood flow. I can't wear them quite because I'm not as cut as I used to be. I mean, I haven't worn any bands or any support type gear, and I'm 50. So I get the creaks and the pops, you know, like when I'm benching, it's like tear, rip, crack, pop. I mean, it's hard because I'm still doing weight like a 20-year-old, 25-year-old, and I shouldn't be, but I don't want to let it go. So I felt something give. I got back into the gym a couple weeks ago, and I've just taken 2 days off, but I felt something twinge in my elbow about. I don't know, 2 days ago. And it was such a mild thing that it felt like something fell off. That's the best way I can describe it. Imagine like if you have like a mole, a fake mole, or you sit on a Lego or a Tic Tac, and then it falls off and you feel it just fall off your body. You're like, what the hell was that? Something just fell. That's what it felt like. It didn't even hurt. So at around 2:30 in the morning, 3 nights ago, well, maybe it was a little bit longer than that.
It's been like a week.
So I was up, and my arm I couldn't get feeling, and it was a sharp pain, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm having a heart attack. And it was in the right arm, and I'm like, wait a second, That doesn't jive with me. And this doesn't feel like a heart attack. What's going on? And it felt like I slept on my arm. And my head was on it, obviously, or something, and it was numb. So, usually in the morning, everybody goes through that when you get older. Your blood flow is kind of weird in your hands, or you put your phone on your chest and you're in bed, and then all of a sudden your arms go to sleep. And Olivia, she sleeps like this, so her arms go to sleep. Hey, Anon, thanks for the donation. You don't have to be anonymous. You can let us know who you are. We appreciate donations. By the way, you can go to linktapgo/the DUM Show. The mods are going to bring that on for you real quick so you guys can decide if you want to go ahead and help donate. Brings the show. It brings it on every night, and that's important since Xfinity is upping our prices. That's the next drop. Okay, so my arm was asleep, and the funny thing is that it was these two fingers. Now, I know a lot about the human body and the anatomy because lifting weights. Like if you have tennis elbow, the reason why everyone gets tennis elbow is when they do their pull-ups. What they do is that they put all the fingers like this on the bar, but if you look at the way your hands are built, it's an angle when you make a fist, right? So it's these three that are going to take most of the brunt of the weight, and these two won't. So what happens is that tennis elbow is in these two fingers, and it's on this side. So what you need to do is put a towel or some tape to raise up these two fingers so they're all equal. So the weight distribution goes on the entire hand. And then that'll stop any issues you have with pull-ups. I don't care how big you are. I'm 6'4", 225. And I do that now, and I offset these fingers because most of my grip strength's in these three. Well, the reverse is true. These two fingers are aligned with this nerve. And it's not the annular nerve, but there's some nerve it is. Anyway, so I noticed that these two fingers, every time I moved them, I felt fire. Like it felt like somebody was taking a needle, a hot needle, and shoving it in where you get your blood drawn all the way to your wrist. And I was, for someone who's been through a lot of back pain, I literally could not feel any relief. So I grabbed these two fingers, and I swear to God, I almost broke those fingers. That's how bad it got. And I'm laying in bed and I'm squeezing them and I'm twisting them. And I just like, I felt like I wanted to pop them, but it felt like, they were on fire. So what it is, to let you know, is that that's where your funny bone is. And it's not a bone, it's that nerve. And the humerus bone, which is here, protects that nerve. And there's a channel and you can feel it right now. Everyone do it with me at home. So you can put your hand out like this and you can feel the left part of your elbow and you'll feel two bumps, almost like a U. Feel that channel? But when you close it, the channel goes away. Yes, children. And why does it go away? Well, that's the joint. And that's where your forearm and your shoulder and your elbow meet, and that's the joint that keeps them together. If you looked at a skeleton, that's where you do your rotation. That little area in between there's a nerve. And that nerve is supposed to ride in that channel. But what happens is it gets a cyst in there and it pushes the nerve out. And then when you push down like this on your chair, or you sleep and you push your elbow down, or you bang it, bloody murder. So what's happened is figuring this all out is that I either A, have to have that cyst reduced with surgery, which is horrible. I'm never going under the knife again, or I can use certain therapeutic techniques. And one is to get a new pillow, which I did, which is a lot poofier. So it keeps my head off my arm. So there's a gap between the two. So I don't put a lot of pressure on my arm because I sleep on my tummy. So this is always touching the mattress. Second thing is the padding here on this beautiful $800 chair are good. But what I can't do is you guys know when I talk, I'm always doing this because I'm always like this with my hands to stay away from the mic. So I'm always doing this. So I've had to teach myself to lay my arms flat and then come up and keep moving. And the last thing is I have to look like Allen Iverson and wear a compression sleeve, which helps with keeping that nerve secure and also doesn't rub it raw here. So there you go, folks. There's a long answer to why I look like Allen Iverson. And I'm wearing pantyhose.
Identical.
Totally, right? I mean, we could be brothers. I was going to say, totally. I would totally look like Allen Iverson.
Totally.
Yeah. So
another funny story about the funny bone. You remember that back in Texas?
Oh yeah. Tell them.
So I was
Tell it right though.
Tell it right, I will. So our breakfast bar was pretty high. It wasn't waist high. It was pretty high. And I was walking by and I smacked my right funny bone on it. And I'm like, son of a, why does it call a funny bone? It's not funny. It hurts. And Hayden's reading a book. She's 7 at the time. She's sitting on the couch reading a book without looking up. She goes, because it's called the humerus bone, Mom. I'm like, oh, I just got schooled by a 7-year-old.
Both of us did. We're both like, what
I didn't even know it was called the humerus bone. And I was like,
Yeah.
So it's not carpal. A lot of people are saying it's carpal tunnel. It's not carpal tunnel. That's not the problem. Although wrist brace does help because that supports the nerve, which goes all the way down here. The one thing I learned with my back is that I would get a pain in my left shoulder and or scratch that. I get a pain in my lower left buttock all the way down to the back of my knee. And it's not even in the same remote location you'd think it was. You think it's something with your thigh or your hip. It was my like L7 vertebra, you know? So it was my spine. So if you look at the human spine, it's an amazing thing. And if you haven't looked at the nerves in the body, but it looks like a giant freeway system of nerves just going all the way up and down your body to the ball of your foot, all the way to your hair follicles and the corpuscles in your tongue. Everything's got nerves in it. So it's kind of like a light switch when you go into a room and there's 7 light switches on the wall when you just move in and you turn on one, you're like, shit, that's the wrong light. Turn on that one. Fuck, I just turned on the garbage disposal. Turn on that one. Well, the outside patio's on and you have no idea where all these lights are coming from in this one location until you've been there a while. But this nerve here is connected to these 2 fingers. And I would have sworn this was a shoulder problem. And it's not. It's right here in the elbow. So
what's that song? The hip bone's connected to the
thigh bone.
Yeah,
the thigh bone's connected to the
That's
so
what it reminds me of.
the penis bone. The penis bone's connected to the vag bone. If you're lucky, so something like that. I think that's the song. I don't know. I'll ask Alan Iverson when we get together on Thanksgiving.
That's good.
Thanks for
just make sure he gets his good Christmas presents.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I have a feeling it's going to be Courvoisier and some Soul Glow. so
Hypnotic.
maybe some Tyson's chicken that we're going to be talking about today. That's a good segue. See how I did that? It's not racist if it's funny. We're going to talk about Tyson's chicken, and JD Vance has some words of wisdom. I love this video Amy brought to us. She's going to walk us through it. Another one is Bobolinsky was on the floor today, waxing intellects with oversight committees, and AOC had some things to say, which we're going to listen to, which are probably the dumbest thing that she's said since 8 o'clock this morning, I would say. We're going to listen to Byron Daniels completely just shellacking his peers. And then we have Maldonado, an expert witness who has no idea what a weapon of war or an AR-15 or an assault weapon is. And she's going to try to tell us, which is just... And then a humorous video from Canada. A couple of Canucks come down to the United States and decide they want to try their hands at firing guns of mass destruction. And it's hilarious to listen. You Canucks, man. I mean, seriously, I grew up on the movie Strange Brew. You guys are a bunch of fucking osers, eh? I mean, seriously, you guys just turned into a bunch of pussies. Canada used to be tough. You guys drink beer on your cereal. You drink beer with your pizza. You guys baptize babies in beer. And now, you guys are a bunch of vaginas.
My topic on tonight, or are we postponing that for another night?
No, we're not doing it, Riley. Everyone's sick of Riley Gaines. Shut up. You lost, okay? It's over. Man up. No,
Right.
We're gonna literally we're gonna do it, and I'm not sick of Riley Gaines. I was teasing, but yeah, we are gonna do it. We just don't have enough room tonight, and I felt bad because we've ditched like 3 of Amy's topics, and I didn't want to do it for the 4th time.
Oh, I don't care.
She's gonna catch on.
It's fine that I have terrible topics. I already know they're always
She
bad.
did not have this is a good one tonight. So let's go ahead and start off. Amy, walk us through the first thing. What are we gonna be watching here?
Yeah, so Tyson's, the parent company of Tyson's, has decided to shut down one facility.
What's Tyson's?
So they're part of the Purdue family as well, from my understanding. They have a long, very sordid history throughout the beginning of time. they're pretty terrible, I think, across the board. So they're going to lay off.
Like Charlemagne or like beginning of time as in God, let there be light. What do you mean beginning of time? Like the beginning of time of industry or mass agriculture or?
Yeah, so they started before mass agriculture. They actually, I think it was like one guy who had like a chicken truck who would drive like town to town and sell his chickens, like literally.
Thanks, Mike, for subscribing. Thank you for subscribing, Michael.
So I think it started with him, and then he like merged with another company, and then I think
another guy with a chicken truck. So it's two guys and a chicken. Instead of two girls in a cup, it was two guys and a chicken.
They used to like because they had to like slaughter them. Yeah, exactly. That's where it
Wasn't a monkey.
Oh my golly. Anyway, I'm not going to go into the history of Tyson's, but they've had problems with health code issues, violations. They've been in trouble with treating their employees terrible over the years. And now they're going to be laying off, I think it's close to 13,000 employees at a pork plant they have in Perry, Iowa, which they're not having a good year, that town. Things like that happen. And I don't think anyone was excited for this. People were reaching out to the employees who are going to be laid off and saying, hey, we have a job for you. Like it was all on the up and up at first. And then we all found out they're not just laying off these 1,300 or whatever it is employees. I think I said 1,000.
Don't let the cat out of the bag. Don't bury the
plan
lead
to
a little
them.
bit.
They're going to replace them. Just
okay.
not
right.
with
So the video itself is very well known. J.D. Vance from Ohio, senator. Is that correct? Senator? Yeah, Senator J.D. Vance, or is it state legislature? It doesn't really matter. Who cares? They're all worthless. Government. He's less worthless than most. No, it's not like Mike Tyson. No, not Mike Tyson. But Tyson, is this Tyson's chicken? That's what we're talking about? Tyson's chicken?
Yeah, the parent. This is the pork plant specifically, but it's owned obviously by Tyson's, known for their chicken, most
That's
notably.
Right. Do you name rooms in your house? You know how some people have the sunroom and some people have the mud room and the vestibule. Yeah, we call our bedroom the pork plant too. So. It's great.
I know what's on your mind tonight, dear.
Yeah.
So let's watch this. Let's get it together here, folks, because we got a busy night, and honestly, I'm just getting back into the groove. I'm upset because I wasn't able to work out tonight, but it's all right. Setbacks are setbacks. Let's watch this video and go along with us. And Amy, if you want to pause in any way, shape, or form, let us know, and we'll make sure we do that if there was a point you wanted to make. Jesse Waters had J.D. Vance on talking about American erosion, and let's watch it.
Perry, Iowa is one of the great American suburbs. Quaint shops on the main boulevard, local produce sections at the grocery store, and pristine parks sprinkled throughout the town. It reached a golden era in the 60s and 70s when Tyson Foods opened up its pork factory and revolutionized the town's economy. It's a relatively small town with strong values and a very close-knit community.
I don't want to get hit by hooked on classics and copyright. So anyway, what type of town is this? What are they doing to the chicken? Is chicken euphemism? That sounds like porn music.
It's pork, so it's a pig town.
Oh, that's gross. All right.
I think it's a friendly community, and if you are willing to put out a little effort, I think everyone makes you feel welcome.
Would you consider Perry a good place to grow?
Yeah, for white people, it looks like.
Definitely.
Iowa.
I am really pro Perry.
I like the small town atmosphere. You get to know people. You walk down the street, they say hi to you.
Holy shit.
I love everything about him.
Is that Mike Brady from the Brady Bunch, but the Oriental version?
Asian.
Oriental, be respectful. I mean, Asian says they're from Asia, and not all Japanese people are from Asia.
Help, who you can turn to, that kind of thing.
But Perry, Iowa is about to change drastically. And not
see Tyson pork, it just doesn't resonate. I mean, Tyson's chicken does, but not Tyson's pork.
Yeah, but they are responsible for, I don't remember the percentage. I want to say it's like 80 to 90% of all commercial chicken, including like the generic, like Walmart brand or whatever. They're responsible for all the chicken, pork, beef, everything in the grocery store, like everything.
Wow. Okay. So they do beef, they do chicken and pork, and probably
They do
other
it all.
byproducts,
Turkeys,
bacon,
they do it
ham.
all. Yep. Yeah, they do it so much. It's like they have a monopoly on the business, really. Them and Purdue, and they combined, I don't know, I guess like 15 years ago, they combined but they're separate, but together.
Yeah, right. So they're like the DuPont of cookware and kitchenettes. Yeah, because they own everything. Okay, here we go.
And they're equally awful, like DuPont, just saying.
Well, yeah, DuPont does a lot. People don't even understand how much DuPont does. It's
They're the
incredible.
worst.
All right. Yeah, I'm not a big DuPont fan. Here we
For
go.
the better. This week, Tyson Foods announced that it will be permanently closing its pork factory in Perry, killing around 1,200 jobs in a town of just 8,000 people. So as Perry residents struggle to cope with mass layoffs, Tyson Foods has its eyes on a different class of workers. The company is now offering new jobs to asylum seekers in other states like New York. Bloomberg says Tyson's tracking migrants in a massive database. They scroll through the data like Facebook.
I guess that answers the question. Why are you afraid of all the illegal immigrants taking your jobs? You're not going to pick fruit and wash dishes. Well, that's a little racist. Well, this is why, folks, because when you have 1 to 10 to 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000, it will not impact the labor market. But when you bring in 2 to 3 million, you then can literally just lift up shop and have illegals work there for a song. And they will not bitch. They will not complain for minimum wage. They will never strike. They will never take days off. And you can run modern day sweatshops. Welcome to the liberal dream. This is why people have had such a problem with this.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, let's. I know. Hold it. Let's get to it. And then I'm sorry. I shouldn't even said anything.
Be a worker you like? Tap hire. They even had a job fair.
So you were at a Tyson fair in New York City not so long ago where Tyson was basically making this pitch. What did you observe when you went there?
They created a database for these new asylum seekers in New York City. So these people would come in, they'd learn a little bit about the company, and for the most part, Tyson had already gone through their various details of their application. And so many of them, 17 the day I was there, and then another 70 a couple weeks later, went off to Tennessee to go start their new jobs as Tyson production workers.
Oh, and the jobs come with perks, not just health insurance. Tyson's also offering lawyers to its illegal alien workers and time off to attend immigration hearings. In 2034, of course, they're firing Americans and offering perks to illegals. This was the Democrat plan all along.
Well, first of all, let's just say we are a nation of immigrants. 460,000 open jobs today. Wow. I have 5,000 farm jobs that I need filled so we can plant the crops.
Vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants.
You see, he's an illegal immigrant.
You racist bastard.
I got an apology from you.
The penguin that's just a bloodbath. Seriously.
Some of the farmers and the growers saying, why are you
Hey, speaking of bloodbath, everybody, I don't know if you've had a chance to see, but I think probably one of our best looking shirts ever, and it is selling like hotcakes. I got to show it to you because you're worth it, damn it. And I'm slow go here. Hold on. I'm having a problem. Houston.
We have a problem.
We do. Hold on. It's right here. Oh, there it is. I already got it. I already got it. Shut it off. Seriously, knock it off. So the join or bloodbath shirt.
Love it.
And it shows Donald
awesome.
Trump in an American Revolution general gear with a flintlock pistol, and it comes in coffee mug. You got all sorts of long sleeve, short sleeve, and hooded. We just sold 3 of them a second ago. So I want to thank somebody who did that in just a second as soon as I find it. But those are available right now. You can find them on the DUMShow.com. Save 10% by using code DUM10. Just wanted to show that to you. I know I got it in. I feel really good about it too.
I love those. I need like every one of those. They're also
we're starting to make some good ones. So I'm using a lot of AI now, and it's really helping with my design. Here's this. Merry Christmas.
Being these immigrants up north, we need them to pick the crops.
We reached out to Tyson for comment, and they said they have a very diverse set of employees, and they're proud of it.
Listen, it does not say Fion. It's join. It's cursive. I don't know what to tell you people. Why does everyone keep...
I knew what it said.
I mean, seriously, now I got to go break out the chart of calligraphy here.
Yeah, exactly.
So people know, and I think some people are just being facetious, because there was this one jackass who, you know what, and he apologized. So he's not a jackass. He's a really nice guy. He's like, I'm sorry, I was being a jerk. And I'm like, oh, that was cool of you to come back and actually admit you were wrong. So you know what? I was going to give him a free shirt if he was here tonight. But you can see, look at the J, folks. This is the way it works. Most J's in calligraphy from those times. This is actually the join or die font. The problem is, in the join or die cartoon or board, they don't use a capital J. They use a different font. They use a lowercase j, which is right down below. But the uppercase, the reason why they don't do it is because it looks like somewhat like an F. But if you want to go to the first join or die cartoons, they did have the F, and people just weren't as sardonic as we are today, because we don't use calligraphy in that way. Most people can't even write cursive. So there you go. I know Maureen was just being funny. Here we go.
Ohio Senator and author of Hillbilly Elegy, J.D.
Carrie, all right, you and Maureen are somebody banned them for at least 24 hours. Both of them. Just kick them out of the chat. They're gone. Sorry, Carrie and Maureen. We did appreciate. Maureen, you're a mod. You can kick yourself. But before you go, kick Carrie, please.
Vance joins us now. I didn't think it was legal, Senator, to axe American workers and hire en masse illegal aliens.
Well, it shouldn't be, Jesse, and we're certainly going to look into whether we can change that, assuming Tyson is operating legally, which we don't even know if they are. We don't know the details of this. All we know, Jesse, is that they are firing American workers and hiring illegal aliens to replace them. This is the entire point of illegal immigration, and Republicans, we've got to hammer this point home. It reduces the wages of American workers by replacing American citizens with foreign laborers who are willing to work at slave wages. It has been the plan, as you said, from the beginning, and what this means is the eradication of the American dream. Every time an American is replaced with an illegal immigrant, it means that an American family loses a good family supporting wage. It means that American companies are literally replacing our own citizens with people who will work for slave wages. That is not capitalism or a market economy, Jesse. That is the decimation of the American middle class via illegal immigration, and it's happening all over the country.
And this poor town's going to get slaughtered. All of those people laid off in such a small town, it's just going to have such a tremendous impact. Are they getting around it legally by saying, we're not hiring illegal aliens, we're hiring asylum seekers? Is that how they do it?
Well, that's one of the ways that they do it, Jesse, and we know that the Biden administration has made it easier to basically pretend that economic migrants are asylum seekers. It's one of the reasons why we have to change our asylum laws in this nation. But, Jesse, think about how much of a contrast this presents between the Trump economy and the Biden economy. If you go back to the Trump economy, you had American jobs going to American workers. You had wages rising. Under the Biden economy, you have those American workers getting fired and replaced with foreign labor. This is not an exaggeration. All net job creation, Jesse, you heard me right, 100% of net job creation under the Biden administration has gone to the foreign-born. So we are taking an economy that produced prosperity for American citizens and turning it into an economy that produces prosperity for people who probably shouldn't be here in the first place. And I bet you know what Tyson isn't doing, Jesse? I bet they're not drug testing the illegal immigrants who are coming in. I bet they're not asking whether they're bringing fentanyl or drugs into that small town with them. This is the end of the American dream if we let this stuff happen. We've got to reelect Donald Trump, and we've got to get congressional Republicans with some spine to push back against this stuff.
Hear, hear. Thanks for speaking out about this, and thanks for all your work with East Palestine. Click here.
So, yeah, there's a lot. Amy, go ahead and give us your thoughts, and then we'll go around the horn. We'll do Olivia after you, Amy, so she can have a chance. Go ahead.
I mean, there's so much. It's obvious. I mean, they are saying that Americans don't want to work, but you're laying off close, over 1,000 American citizens. Incidentally, I watched interviews, and some of those Americans that will be laid off later, and I think it's 180 days they have, were immigrants, legal immigrants who worked for this company, and now they have been laid off, and there's a lot, and I think a lot of them were from the Congo. So they're like, we're going to lose our houses. We would gladly move to Tennessee to keep our jobs so we can still live. We have kids in college now. We need to still pay for these things in our life, and there's nothing else for them to do really unless they continue with a new company, starting at ground zero, losing their benefits, losing their time that they've been with this company. Who knows about pensions? I don't know what they offer. But also on the flip side of this, Tyson's has been in trouble for, I don't know, year after year because of their treatment of migrant workers. They have been sued. They've had, I don't know how many times the health department has gotten involved because of their treatment of the animals. They've been sued again for not treating the employees correctly. They're treating them like slaves. They are not true employees to them. So yeah, it's cheap labor, but they are not treating them like an American citizen should be treated. So it's just all around bad. I'm all about the boycott Tyson thing right now. I really am. I don't like them anyway. I think they're a terrible company. I do buy their chicken a lot. I really do. But I'm like, never again. I don't care if I'm paying $20.
How do you effectively boycott a place that has all the meat, all the pork? How do you boycott a company like that? Market Pantry, Olivia, is that associated with Tyson? Do you know?
Not a clue.
I think they are. I think they are with because they are, I think, more localized to our area. And Purdue has their corporation, they're located in Maryland on the east, the coast of Maryland. They have their huge factories. I think they're a subsidiary of Purdue, which is also Tyson, essentially.
Has anyone ever? It's easy to say grow and raise your own. Yeah, that's really easy to say. No, I don't have the property for that, and I'm not going to put cows on my property. I'm sorry, I'm not going to put chickens and pigs. Where the hell do you think I'm sorry. I'll just put it next to the spruce goose and the Queen Mary after I inherited all my money from frickin'. Give me a break, man. Howard Hughes.
You got to go to our local co-op market. It'll cost you.
Where?
In Lovettsville, we have the new co-op. It's all local farmers.
I'm not going to Lovettsville.
I've seen that.
I'm not going to Lovettsville.
How expensive is it?
Where's that butcher that we're supposed to have here in Percival?
They closed.
Yeah, they closed.
What a douche.
It's not his fault. I love him. I love his family. They're still local people. It's not his fault.
Does he sell still?
He might actually. He might know a good. Yeah, he might know where you can get.
Yeah,
good
sorry,
stuff,
I called him a douche. Nobody knows who he is. I'm just saying, I wanted to go there, and then all of a sudden he's closed after COVID. And I'm like, dude, I'll give you the business. Just, Yeah,
we don't have a local butcher. I think we have to go to Winchester or something. That's the closest one. We've got Ashburn and Winchester are the closest.
Sean Casper's like, I love when people use the thinking emoji like we're stupid. Use local butcher shops. Fuck, why didn't I think of that? Thanks.
Hey, trust
we're
me.
a town of 560, Jack. When one closes, we have to drive 80 miles to go find your local butcher shop. Might as well be in fucking Tecumseh.
Yeah, we're looking 45 minutes away to get to a local butcher. We have a local deer butcher, but they only sell deer meat.
And then
you have to bring in your own deer, and they process the deer meat.
Can we just get something off the side of the road and bring it in? Isn't that cool?
Exactly.
Actually, I think they're changing the laws on that. I think you can pick up someone else's roadkill now. Yeah, I think so.
Gosh, no, thank you.
Can you imagine just setting up a tent on the side of the highway waiting for a deer? You're just like flushing deer. You're out there with bangers and bells, and you're trying to flush deer to the freeway so they get hit. That's great.
No, thanks. Yeah. No, but we have. We live in a rural area, right? So we have farmers. We have a cow farm literally that way from my house. Our cows end up in our yard sometimes. So you can buy a half a cow. Like our neighborhood will split like a cow or a pig because it's cheaper and we can't eat that much between all of us. So we can do that, but it's really hard if you're in an urban area. Like, where do you go? You shop at a grocery store.
What is up with people? Why don't I raise chickens? I'm not going to raise chickens.
No.
I'm sorry. The payoff isn't there for me. And what, no, we have winter here. I could hardly keep a freaking German Shepherd alive. And you want me to do chickens? No. It's not going to happen. So listen, I understand it. If I'm in a situation where I've got to hunt, I've got every opportunity, and I will gut that deer, and I'll be looking like Jebediah Smith. I will have deer skin and bear skin, and I'll have each kid will have a freaking bear claw necklace, and we'll go ahead and have fish heads for freaking dinner. Yes, I will do that. I have no problem surviving. But I don't want to go and do that. I don't want to pluck a chicken, slaughter it. Screw that. Give me meat, but give me meat that isn't manufactured with slave labor, for God's sake.
And all the hormones. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Have you guys seen the Kentucky Fried Chicken movie?
No.
Oh, no. Oh, well, listen, Kentucky Fried Chicken, in my opinion, was one of the greatest things. Double mashed potatoes, get yourself a biscuit. You take half of those potatoes with the gravy and you put it in the biscuit and you tear off some chicken breast, shove it in there, put the biscuit on. Oh, heaven. Coleslaw, throw that shit away. It sucks. But if you've noticed, chicken breasts when we were younger, they were like this big. They were like 6 ounce. Dude, I'm not kidding you. It looks like a freaking rainbow trout. These chicken breasts that Olivia comes home with. I'm like, what did you do? Did you like kill King Kong? Where is this? It's all growth hormone.
And it's like, I'm afraid. I bought a pack of chicken last week because we don't eat chicken every week. We're just trying to change our whole lifestyle here. So I bought chicken last week. I bought the big pack thinking like, okay, I'll grill it all for the week. I had to cut every single breast in half long ways, and it was still bigger than like a normal sized breast. We had like 20 chicken breasts from one pack of chicken, not exaggerating.
And people are like, why don't you go snare some rabbits? Where the hell do you think I live?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go out and chop some rabbits. I'll get some beaver pelts and I'll trade it for some turquoise. And then maybe we can upgrade to a larger teepee at some time. What the fuck do you think I live? I have a freaking $1 million house. I'm going to go out to my neighbor's yard. Hey, Bob. What are you doing out there, Matt? I'm snaring some fucking rabbits, Bob. Why don't you mind your own business before I come over there and I teeter your wife again? What the hell do you think I live? We live in a community. We got concrete everywhere. It's a sanctuary for birds. I can't go snaring rabbits. That'd be great. And then I get like mange. My kid freaking has an elbow growing out of her forehead or something. So here's the thing. The Kentucky Fried Chicken movie. They show these chickens, and it's horrible. Like chickens, headless chickens, being pumped. Oh yeah, being pumped full of antibiotics on like life support systems. This is the type of shit that they're doing. If you notice chicken breast, do you remember like chicken breast when we were younger? You wouldn't see these white lines in the chicken breast. Go to the chicken breast and look at it now. And there's these giant tendons that run right through the middle. And that is absolutely where chicken fingers come from, right? But if you look across it, running horizontally, there's lines, growth lines. That is an abnormal muscle, which is all the breast is, growing at a too rapid of rate. So when it does grow, in order to fill itself, it shoves fat in between those lines, and that's when you get that rubbery, nasty chicken. Have you ever had that, where you get a chicken breast and it tastes, you bite into it and it's like biting galvanized rubber? That's when you get those type of chicken breasts. It's horrible. Look, folks, the shit that we eat is just incredibly bad for you. Eat as many vegetables as possible. Red meat is, honestly, surprisingly enough, red meat is some of the most healthy meat you can eat now, which is better than pork and chicken because they don't necessarily fill that, because cows' growth rates are completely different than a chicken or a turkey or a pig. It's just, it's horrible. Liv, what are your thoughts on all this? I'm sorry, baby. You do all the shopping in the house. What do you think?
Oh, well, my mom was born in Perry. Did you know that? She lived there. They moved when she was like 4.
Your mom-in-law is born in Perry?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's from Perry. Both my grandparents grew up there.
I had no idea. Could she have like been related to Tyson so we wouldn't have to do this stupid show anymore?
It's not from that area.
No. You know, she's working. I did text her after I watched the video today, and I did text her and asked if the Tyson factory was there when she lived there. But I mean, they left in the 50s. They left late 50s, so I don't know if it was there then. But there's, as far as I know, as far as she knows, I don't think there's any relatives. That
So
live there anymore.
how did your mom leave? Was it by wagon in 1850? Or
It was a station wagon, I think.
Oh, a station. Oh, I'm sorry. 1950. Sorry, Tanny.
Probably.
That's okay. She doesn't come out. She's not coming out this year, so I don't care. She won't remember. She's getting Alzheimer's.
She's working,
Yeah.
which means her phone's off. So.
She's getting at that age where she doesn't remember shit anyway, so she's fine. Love you, Tam. You won't remember this tomorrow. So Liv, your thoughts on this? Your mom's from Perry, but I mean, when you go shopping, here's the problem: is the quality? It's not as good as it used to be, is it? Versus the price.
It's not, and the problem is to get the quality you're used to. You're having to spend for a pack of chicken breasts. You would get the large size where there's like 6, 7, 8 chicken breasts in there, and it used to be like $1.99 a pound, and that was great. Well, that chicken is now shit, and you have to get the more expensive stuff. But to even get remotely something that's decent, you're paying like $9 a pound, and it's like $25 to get like 6 chicken breasts now. It's freaking ridiculous.
That's a bloodbath.
It is. It's freaking like, and the last few times I've been at Target, like 4 weeks in a row, there's been no chicken. So I've had to go to Harris Teeter and buy the freaking expensive chicken because Harris Teeter chicken sucks.
Yeah,
I won't buy it anymore because it's all rubbery. And it's insane the amount that chicken costs now. It's crap. I mean, and then red meat's expensive, and pork is probably the cheapest out of all the meats, but
it sounds like a bloodbath. You can go pick up the new bloodbath shirt at the Don't Unfriend Me show at thedumshow.com. Go pick it up, folks. Donald, look at the artwork on. I mean, that is a good looking shirt.
It's
seriously.
one of my favorites, honestly.
Yeah,
I will say I've been getting Wagyu beef cheaper than chicken lately. Wagyu beef. It's been on sale, so I've been buying it every week.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. When you've got tier 4, tier 5 steaks that are cheaper than chicken and pork, it's ridiculous. I mean, it just comes down to this. There was a change in the way dairy and chicken and things to that effect were produced. And I hate to say it because this is kind of weird, but I'm going to say it. Like, boobs are not a thing in my family. They just aren't. My mom, my grandmother, sister, Olivia. Sorry, honey. I love you. I love you. You've got a great ass.
Thanks.
And Al Pacino, great ass. But no boobs. And God just gave you double caboose and not so much in the front of the headlights of the engine. So the nice thing, even your grandmother, she didn't have any boobs, but she had breast cancer, so that doesn't count. But boobs are not a big thing in the family, in the Spears side or the right side. But Hayden, which is really uncomfortable for me, man, because she comes upstairs in her clothes, and I'm like, gah! And I just turn around and go back upstairs, and I'm like, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for halter tops and midriffs. I mean, today I walked up and I'm like, hi, sweetie, what the fuck are you wearing? She's like, Dad, you said I could show my midriff. I said 1.5 inches. That's like 7 feet, Hayden. You can't wear that while just call your mother. And I go back upstairs and I go hide. But there's no doubt that's from the milk, and that's
I have always
not
bought
the milk,
organic.
the chicken. But you know there's growth hormones in chicken.
Yeah.
It's just it came from somewhere. Okay, it
did. I mean, I've always bought organic milk for them, but unfortunately, we don't make $2.5 million a year where I can actually buy organic meat every week for the family. It just, unfortunately, and the closest Whole Foods is like 50 miles away, so it's like I don't have the money for
Whole
the gas.
Foods yet. We shopped at Whole Foods, $500 a week.
There's a Trader Joe's, but I
$500
mean,
a week.
Oh my! And it was just the two of us because we were in Colorado. It was just the two of us.
It was $2,000 a month for groceries, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll die early. I'm fine. At this point, the last thing I'm going to say is on my deathbed is I should have shopped at Whole Foods, Rosebud.
Yeah.
All right.
I will say you guys should look into some of the crop sharing options around, like the Mutu farm. Like they have one. Yeah, so you buy
slavery's illegal in Virginia. What are you talking about? Crop sharing. What are we?
No, it's
Hey,
maybe it's
we're gonna trade some labor for some property.
No, maybe I'm using the wrong word. It's where you
They-
pay. There's different tiers, so you can pay like $50 a month or whatever it is. Is that what it's? Okay, I'm like maybe I'm saying the wrong word. And then
it's a different type of crop sharing than the one I'm talking about. Okay, so let me get this straight. People they plant corn. You go ahead and you pay $50, and then you go ahead and get a certain percentage of stalks and corn ears that you can go. Okay.
Yeah, and it changes obviously all year long. You get the seasonal stuff. You know it's coming from the farm down the street, as opposed to, but you get what you get. There's no like picking and choosing. It's like, here's your box of stuff.
See, I just want it to be easy. You know what I've been thinking of doing, honestly, is I think it was Swanson's. It wasn't Swanson's.
Samsonite.
No. It was. I love the Tonight Show. Tonight Show is great. It's just full of smart ass. There was Swenson's. No, Swenson's was an ice cream shop in the 80s, 90s, which was delicious, by the way. God, that was great. But anyway, they deliver.
Yeah, it was Swanson's.
Omaha Steaks. Yeah, Swanson's and Omaha Steaks.
Yeah,
but it's Swanson's and then there's Omaha Steaks where you can just order it and you get all of it there. It's fun, And I'm kind of like, that would be awesome, but I don't know if any of that's good. I mean, how do you really know what's good and what's bad? And what scares me is all of a sudden, if you stop eating this shit that's full of preservatives and chemicals and everything else, what's your body going to react this way? I mean, I don't know, man. I look at the swelling in people and I look at people when they hit 30 years old, people start to swell and they get their faces and even mainly in men. It's not women predominantly. It's 30. Women swell after high school. Then they stop for a while. Then they start again after they have kids.
Freshman 15.
20 now. But men, they look puffy. I know I did. When I hit 30, I got puffy all the way to like 40, and I still have chubby cheeks. A lot of it's from my surgery. I mean, you can tell there's a giant freaking indentation right here in my face. But overall, that's all the preservatives and crap. And when I was focused on 6 ounces of chicken for lunch, 6 ounces of dinner, and I was really portion controlling, it's just amazing how much we eat. We don't need it. We don't need to eat as much as we do. The human body can survive on one meal a day if done correctly and trained properly. We don't need 3,000, 4,000 calories when we're not out there hunting and gathering. We're not out there and moving along the Appalachian Trail, dodging water buffalo and shit. We're getting in our car and we're driving to work. We're sitting down and driving home, and that's our physical activity. Unless you do some sort of exercise like I do or Amy does or whatever, but you don't need that many calories. So I just think that people need to look at what they eat, make that decision. But this really comes down to, it's horrible. You have a company which is going to bankrupt that town. 1,200 people out of 8,000, that town is going to lose 50% of its overall income because it's not 1,200. You have to times that by that 1,200 times 3 because 2 kids and a husband. That's what you have to do. So now you're not at 1,200, you're at 5,000 people. That'll bankrupt that town. And how many of those people don't have work because of COVID? It's a shame. Anyway, anyone else got any comments on this before we move on?
No.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was easy. Larry, thank you for buying your Let's Take America Back Again shirt. Liberals are melting down over the bloodbath shirt. I just want to let you know. I mean, they're flipping out. They're like, he's a traitor. You're a traitor. You want to have civil war. I'm like, dude, the whole point of the shirt is to make fun of that shit. We're making fun of him. That he, that Donald Trump's a civil war general and he's calling for join or bloodbath. I mean, it's just all we're doing is playing into your stupid freaking semantics and just delusion. You guys are crazy. Liv, we're playing the next video. Where are you going? Okay. AR-15 expert lies in front of committee. I want to get Olivia on this if she's going to come back anytime soon. I think she's coming back now. Any day, Liv. I just love how she gets up in the middle of the segment and it's like, I'm going to just go check on the pie in the oven.
Well, she knows her place.
Yeah, she does. Get your ass in the kitchen, woman. Hey, thanks for coming back, Liv. Just in the middle of the show. Mm-hmm. Why didn't you just have the kids go?
Because I've been texting Hayden for 15 minutes.
Oh, you're wearing your grandma sweater.
I am.
You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to wear your granny sweater in front of me.
I know.
God, Milfy. All right.
Milfy granny. I'm not a grandma yet.
Well, shut up, Hayden. Nobody wants your opinion.
She just yells from the, yeah, that's going to be a while. Better be.
Ethan's like, Mom, Dad, I got some news for you.
That better at least be 12, 13 years away.
So this is
assault weapon.
This is Kennedy. And this is going to be an interesting thing. Well, it looks like an F because you guys don't understand the time period. I'm not going to justify it to y'all. It's not my fault that you don't have an education. I don't know what to tell you, Renee. I'm done fielding this conversation. So it's not an F, okay? I'm done with you people. You suspend her too. Ban her for at least 3 days. Send a clear message. Appreciate it. All viewers who think it's an F, you're going out. You're out of here. I'm just kidding. This is Nancy Maldonado. Nancy is an idiot. And I can say that because she's a liberal that wears a necktie like Colonel Sanders.
Because she looks like the KFC guy. Like,
yeah, she's obviously works for Tyson. But she first of all, I don't know why you're wearing a racist tie like that. That's horrible. Just evil. But she's here and she is going to educate us on why. And it says the Honorable Nancy L. Maldonado, but it's interesting, is not honorable when you put your name to something that you didn't write and can't explain. Listen to this. This drives me crazy.
You said, quote, assault weapons may be banned because they're extraordinarily dangerous and are not appropriate for legitimate self-defense purposes, close quote.
Amy Bordeaux wins the topic of the night. She says, I'm so not foining on this topic. You're a mod. You can ban her yourself too. You guys can all just go ban yourself. Take a giant leaf off a short cliff and the full fist. Go ban all yourselves.
Oh man, that's funny.
I don't like you guys. Shut up. Nobody's talking to you,
Oh,
Yenny.
here comes the
Tell me what you meant by
cat.
assault weapons.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy. Just to clarify there, I was local counsel. Our Supreme.
Yeah, but you wrote the brief. Tell me what you meant by assault weapons.
Senator Kennedy, actually, I did not write the brief. The brief was written by.
You signed the brief, though, didn't you?
Correct. I signed the brief.
You sign a brief, you're testifying to the court that everything in it is true, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
they're your words in terms of the court, right?
Well, you're correct, Senator.
This is where you could hear the proverbial shit drop. So,
Senator Kennedy, I would never
Tell
sign.
me what you meant by assault weapons.
So I am not a gun expert, and at the time.
First of all, it's not a gun; it's a rifle. Get it the fuck right. Seriously. This is my rifle. This is my gun. This is for fighting. This is for fun. Come on, dude.
That brief, I think, was about 10 years.
Giving the court advice about, say, ban assault weapons. What is? You told the court you were an expert.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Just tell me what you wanted to ban.
Senator, sitting here today, as I said, I did not write that brief. I was local counsel.
Sign the brief.
I understand. At the time
Tell me
Don't be rude.
what you wanted to ban. That's all I want to know, Judge.
I don't remember the exact definition of assault weapons
You're
in
fired.
the ordinance that was at issue.
So you submitted a brief to an appellate brief. You signed it, and you don't know what. And you said abolish assault weapons, and you don't know what you wanted them to abolish.
Senator, at the time that I signed the brief, I read the brief because our Supreme Court required an Illinois bar member to sign the brief. I was not responsible for researching the content.
You were responsible for the brief. You signed your
Absolutely,
signatures on it.
absolutely. And sitting here today, I do not remember the characteristics of that were cited in the ordinance for the assault weapons ban. It's not an area of practice that I have specialized in. I'm sure 10 years ago I could have answered your question.
And
but
Judge,
sitting here today,
you think you deserve to be promoted with this record?
Senator, I stand by my record. I stand by my record.
You said.
Holy.
Oh.
Embarrassing.
Okay. First of all, let me tell you the distinguishing characteristics of an assault weapon. Is everyone ready? Are you listening, girls?
I guess?
this is yes, you can. This is much easier than raising chickens in order to feed ourselves. So, Amy, please, by all means, would you like to tell me the characteristics of an assault weapon?
Assault weapon? Anything I can assault someone with?
That's correct. That is absolutely the intent to assault somebody. In fact, you don't even need to pull the trigger. You could just say, I'm going to kill you with this weapon, and that is assault. There is no such thing as an assault weapon because everything can be in a weapon. Therefore, there is an assault knife, there's assault car, there's assault fist, there's assault.
I should have worn my assault gun shirt tonight.
You should have worn your assault gun shirts. Instead, you're wearing the sexy grandma sweater, and that's fine too. There is the assault salt and pepper shaker. There is it's all assault. So first of all, assault, just drop it out because assault is intent. An intent to harm, an intent to maim, an intent to cripple, an intent to kill. And that can be done with anything. So there's no such thing as an assault weapon. Now, there's also...
The weapon was in the library with Mrs. Scarlett.
That's correct.
Right.
Yes. There's also no such thing as fully semi-automatic, which is also something I've heard from these ridiculous...
Fully semi-automatic?
That's correct. These idiots. Semi-automatic is simple. You pull the trigger and the bullet goes down the chamber once. And you must pull the trigger again to make that happen. A bolt-action rifle is not semi-automatic because you pull the trigger once and then you have to manually go ahead and rack it back again in order. That's not a semi-automatic. It's a single-shot weapon. You also have a blunderbuss, which is a single-load weapon. You have a shotgun, which you have to rack it back every time you fire. There are semi-automatic shotguns, but mainly most weapons on the planet Earth are semi-automatics, which means every time you pull the trigger, a round goes down barrel and goes down range. Now, they want to ban semi-automatic weapons. Now, you consider, no, they just want to ban the AR-15, which is a semi-automatic weapon. And when you ban an AR-15, you have to ask yourself the question, is the AR-15 the most deadly weapon on the planet? And the answer is no. In fact, it is not even close to the most deadly weapon. Now, it does a shit ton of vascular and muscle tissue and vessel damage and bone damage if it enters the body because it is a high-speed, fast round, but it's not it's not something that kills quickly. Unless you go through the heart or go through the head or the spine, it pretty much is going to keep its target alive, unfortunately, and there will be a considerable amount of damage. An AR-15 is extremely dangerous that way. But as far as a killing machine, I'll take a 30 caliber over everything. You give me my M1 carbine and I can do a ton of damage to that. You give me my 308 at 700 yards and you won't even hear the first shot. So there are plenty of other weapons that are more effective. When somebody says, I want to ban assault weapons, what you're saying is that you are planning on attempting to make the world a safer place, and you think you can moderate people's intentions and feelings, and that's impossible. Otherwise, why don't you just do the same thing with drugs? Why don't you do the same thing with racism? Why don't you do the same thing with rape and incest? How about people who are stupid and who have sex without taking precautions? We can just get rid of abortion, because if you can go ahead and legislate intent, well, then we don't need to have abortions anymore, do we? Because all you have to do is just tell people stop having sex and they'll stop. These people are morons. They've never fired a weapon in their life. And I'm going to show you what it looks like to have a bunch of hippies fire weapons. Canadian hippies, which are the worst. The worst.
Canada.
These Canadas. I mean, Mel's from Canada, and we know how Mel is. So, it's not going to get any better here.
I would like to know this Mel, not Mel. what's her name? The lady, whatever her name was.
Maldonado.
Maldonado, thank you.
Honorable Maldonado, please.
Is she an elected judge or was she appointed? What is
Probably most judges are appointed. They don't actually have electable jurist positions, do they?
I don't think so, but I
don't think so. So they would have to be appointed.
How is she still employed?
Well, because she made,
future of your
I want
business.
to add some content. She made this decision and signed this 10 years ago, but it doesn't matter. Here's the thing. If you talk to any of the, even if you talk to Ketanji Brown Jackson, who doesn't understand the First Amendment and what women are, she can tell you a case that she worked on, quite a while ago.
Create viral video.
And that is inherent in most judges is like, I can tell you, what briefs I did for work or what plans I had for quarterly revenue acquisition or, any type of mergers we did or big deals. I mean, because you remember, I can tell you what episodes I've done and what I haven't done. And there's over, 1,200 of them. We're going on episode 600 tomorrow. 600 recorded fucking shows. And I can tell you every single one I've done and remember what I've said and what I haven't said, which, let's face it, that's a lot. No wonder I can't remember people's birthdays. But you think that she would remember something as pressing as that. And when you go into a Senate Oversight Committee, your job is to review your cases because they're going to ask. And the fact that she didn't find it important is just slightly concerning, Watch this.
Yeah.
This is funny. You
think you would have done like a quick review of what you signed and did like the before the night test cram session so you could actually sound intelligent and answer questions? I don't know. That's just me.
Well, I would agree. This is Eat Your Kimchi Studio. Oh, freaking liberals, seriously. I guess Don't Unfriend Me was taken. They're Canadians, if you can't tell. They're pasty white bodies from this. Listen, I love my Canadians. Don't freaking get all pissy. Some people get all grumpy. Matt doesn't like Canada. I love Canadians. I don't love the Alanis Morissette Canadians. Okay, I'm more of a Hasselhoff and Ryan Reynolds type Canadian.
Hasselhoff's from Canada?
Yeah.
Really? I had no idea.
I thought he was
You didn't
from
know that?
Baywatch.
He is. He's from
California.
Baywatch, Canada. Baywatch, it's right outside of Edmonton. Seriously, why is the cat on the table?
Because it's our new spot.
Yenny, get off the table. Lord. Okay, let's watch this. This is funny. You guys will enjoy this. This is a good video. By the way, Eat Your Kimchi. Don't copyright strike me. I am sharing your information. Go to YouTube and follow these maple heads for me, please. Thank you very much. Here it is.
We've never touched a gun.
But we're in America now.
So we're gonna go shoot some guns.
Let's shoot some guns.
I'm scared.
I'm terrified.
You ready, girl?
Huh?
What? Can you hear me?
Huh? Guns are noisy. Can I get these on the airplane, please? When there's little tiny children screaming.
So just FYI, he is wearing a Captain America shirt, which is a superhero shirt. And you might be wondering why. He's from Canada, because Canada doesn't have any superheroes like their military and their superheroes. They lend America's. Here we go.
All right, let's go, girl.
Just load it.
Now, instantly, there's a couple things. One, first of all, her hand placement is not bad. She needs to do a double tang grip, so she needs to stack thumbs. You notice how her thumb is lower than her other. She's not getting any support on there. And then what is going to happen? Guarantee it.
She's going to get pinched.
No, she's not going to get. No, she won't get. She has no chance of getting slide thumb. But when you do double tang and double tang grip, you can get slide thumb. But that's not the problem. The problem is that her weapon. If you notice, for those of you who are interested in learning how to shoot and fire a weapon, I bet you the nose of her weapon, the muzzle, will go down a little bit. It'll be at a slight angle. And the reason why is women inherently, when they fire, they tilt their head instead of bringing their shoulders up. So instead of leaning into the target a little bit and looking down sight, and she's looking down, trying to move her head to the gun and not her. Well, when you do this, you're creating an imbalance, and then people tend to point down with their wrists. I don't need to watch anymore. I guarantee you on the next scene, we're going to see her pointing down after her first shot, which essentially means she's going to miss everything after that. There it is. See the drop?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of going back into muscle memory with herself being locked and popping right back into place at all times, she has no support. So the gun twisted her wrist, and for her to overcompensate, she goes like this, which gives her a slight downward drop. Now she's... I don't give a crap.
I know.
I don't give a crap if it's her first time. She's gonna, damn it, Amy, she better take it serious. It's like raising chickens. Come on now. My point is, I'm just trying to help the people who've never fired a weapon before, is that there's little things to make yourself better. So when you go to the range for the first time, recognize those things. You'll overcompensate. You might anticipate the trigger pull. You might bring your muzzle up, might bring it down. You might be sideways. You might be closing one eye. All of these little things you'll learn. I'm not ridiculing her. I'm just saying this is what happens. And when you see the guy shoot, it's a little bit different, which is an interesting thing. So I'm just trying to give you a comparison contrast. Geez, Amy, I'm not being sexist. A little bit. And folks, this is why you wear a ball cap when you're firing, for all shell casings to bounce off of, because trust me, there is nothing like getting burned by brass. And this is why you don't wear flip-flops. You don't wear loose-fitting shirts. These are the things you do not do. And what she's wearing is an open enrollment to be burned by brass. And she's firing some pretty heavy hardware upcoming here. And when she's done, we should call her cigarette burns, because that's what it looks like.
My hands are like a shaky rack.
Did you see him jump?
Yes, I did.
He jumped like a foot. Like the man bun didn't tell you this was going to be bad. So his grip is actually really good. And he starts to, I mean, he's not a natural. I don't believe this is his first time firing. You got to look at it this way. The first time, it's pretty cathartic the first time you fire a gun. Most people are usually intimidated, and they're not joking around or whatever because their endorphins are kicking in. But this guy's being pretty flippant. And I also see some of his groupings, and naturals happen, but not like this.
Done the same thing with thousands of people. Yeah. Not everybody can keep doing what you're doing, so. Is that right? Yeah, I'm not joking, bro.
I promise you he's lying to his girl. Also, Susan, she's not a friend. He's sleeping with her. I'm just letting you know. He's lying. There's no way this is the first time this guy has fired a weapon. It's just no. This is not the first time. Because who decided to do this, right? You know it's his idea. This guy's been closet going to a gun club for probably a better part of years.
He's not joking. Yeah, because the first time
There's no way.
Good.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not great, but just the fact that he put 3 floaters dead center, that's pretty damn good. Because you want to take away the outliers, right? So anything outside the 7 ring is your outlier, and anything dead in the middle, take those out. He's grouping at 8 to 9, which isn't bad. I mean, it's not a bad firing spread for his first time. It's not his first time. I'm just telling you right now. There's no way in hell. Look at all those center mass. A lot. So, I mean, you got to figure, like I said, you take out the outliers in the 7 ring and outside the 7 ring, and then you take out 3 or 4. He's pretty much everything's 8, 9 ring. That's not bad.
I got all those in a row. Shoot every day.
And this is where things go wrong. Because you're bringing out a 50.
Desert Eagle.
You're bringing out a Deagle. And I'm telling you, this is for the way she was handling her first fire. You don't want to jump from a freaking 9mm to a 50. I mean, you want to gradually go up. You know, you could step her into a 9 and then put her in a 40, maybe a 45. You don't put her right into a 50, for God's sakes.
So sweaty.
You ready, girl? You have to grip it tight. It's gonna want to jump out of your hand. If it jumps out of your hand, it's gonna go this way. I'll be right here.
All right. He almost drops it.
Yeah.
This is an owie.
And that's the thing. You can fit 3 9mm casings into a 50, and it kicks like a mule. There's no doubt. Now the thing is, it's like people who are afraid of shotguns. You just anticipate the pull, but the first time you do it, it's going to set you back. But if you know what you're doing, you're not doing this all day with a deagle. You just lean into it, right? You anticipate what it's going to feel like.
This is a very big
Now they're going to break out. This is the non-semi-automatics. These are the fully automatics. And this is a 7.62 AK-47. So this is a high velocity. It's got a little kick to it. It's certainly not a shotgun, but she's gonna feel it if she's not, handling it properly.
Post up and go to your shoulder. Rest your teeth. Stay to the side of the pistol. Stop. Snugger. The better. If you're loose, it's gonna move around.
So these poor people, their diapers. So he just said the looser, the more it's going to jump around all over and tattoo her shoulder, and you can tell she's not tight to the body, and this thing will bruise your ass. It will if you don't manage the weapon. It's like a Saint Bernard on a leash.
There you go.
Yeah, it depends what load you have in a shotgun, but nobody's going to tell me that even some of the smallest loads on a shotgun are comparable to a 9mm. Give me a break.
It hurts your shoulder too much?
Yeah.
All right, let's not risk injury then.
Yeah.
I've got PTS and tennis elbow from 5 minutes firing an AK.
Yeah.
This is not the first time this guy's fired a weapon. I'm just like... All right. So last but not least, now we go to belt fed. Now, let me tell you, you're like, okay, it's a belt fed weapon. This thing's going to kick like a mule. It doesn't. It's not built that way. You have it on tripods, and it's going to come back a little bit. The whole thing is actually designed to push down, and the way the gases eject from the system keeps it in place. Watch how this thing just purrs.
You got it? KG, control burst.
So versus being a jarring motion, you can see how it's cycling forward. So you just move with it. She's holding it to her shoulder. She properly is engaged with the weapon, and this is the right way to fire it. If she wants to get really loosey-goosey and kind of get bold, she could go ahead and place a hand on the oh shit handle. Doesn't need to do that. She's not Rambo. She's firing it correctly. And this should be the time that she really enjoys herself, but she's Canadian, so she doesn't.
How'd that one feel, girl?
This one is like the first couple shots that you're pulling it, you're like, okay, this is really powerful.
Hey, did a miss.
Oh, no miss.
Except for the stuff you didn't see. Also, those shells hit my foot. Ow! My God.
Get your finger off get your booger hook off the bang switch, big guy.
Yep.
Nothing like the M249, Saw, Browning 50, all great weapons. It depends on the mounting system, how enjoyable they are to shoot. Here's the parts that I really wanted you to watch, was their reaction. Here it goes. Now, ladies, let me ask you a question. Did they have fun?
They look like they're having fun.
Looked like they were laughing, having a great time. You know, the only thing that would have been better is putting them on a lake and adding some alcohol, because there's nothing like alcohol and guns to really make it fun. So everyone would have said, yeah, it's great. Good times. Let's have some fun, right? Yep, 5.56 downgraded, so they're not firing. They're not firing the rounds that they are firing on these, especially the fully automatics. They're firing at 7.62 on the AK-47, but that M249, I think it's been modified down. So there's not going to be a ton of kick in what she's firing in the rounds of ammunition that she's firing. But when you put and you fire a 249, you fire a saw, you fire even a mounted 50. You fire an M50, you fire a 60, you're feeling it, man. And this is why usually the bigger guys in the squad carry those weapons, is because they pack a punch. Those are not designed to knock you on your ass. But in the end, they're supposed to be having a good time. They're supposed to be having fun, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. And they look like they were.
You got to say it correctly. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. But now we get to listen to what they say. And of course, now they got to go back to their channel and realize that they're a bunch of liberals. And here we go.
That's a really good one. Okay, let me just say, I don't think I could ever shoot a gun again. That was terrifying. That was, I don't know how people can do this as a hobby. Like, all the respect to you if you can do that, but I am ready to go shoot myself. As soon as we turn off this camera, in the bushes right there, it's happening.
Desert Eagle was the most horrifying thing I ever put in my hand.
Yeah.
After shooting it twice, by the third time, I was like, I'm not going to be able to hold this.
No.
I'm going to hit myself in the face.
That was scary.
That was scary. No one tells you about the wind.
Yeah, 5.56, 4.5, but so it's not going to give her that much of a kick. My point is her standing up and putting that on shoulder, and the way that the gases project and the way that that mechanism moves in that weapon, it's not like shooting a regular 5.56, right? I mean, you go get a 5.56 and you put a bump stock on that sucker, and it's almost uncontrollable. So 5.56, it's not that when you're shooting it through semi-automatic and single pull, it's very negotiable. It's a very easy weapon to navigate. But you go ahead and you, like I said, put a bump stock, or you shoot 5.56 and full auto, it jumps, man. It moves around, especially with a saw. And so, you know, you're running a 249 on that thing. It's heavy, it's bulky, it's not necessarily designed for someone on her frame, but on a tripod, it's only going to push back. It's not going to sit there and slip. The downward projection of that thing is going to continue to keep it in place. That was my point. Very simple for her to fire. If she had to pick it up, it's a completely different conversation. You guys know that. All right. And they were doing 3-round bursts. You get my point?
Like, and you're like.
So I just shot some guns for the first time in my life. I feel more comfortable shooting videos. You know, that's what I'm gonna be shooting from now on. Yeah. Get ready, son. I'm gonna shoot a video in your wax. Wait, what?
All right. So the whole reason I show it is because firing a weapon is very similar to two other things, and then I'm gonna get Olivia's point. One is opera. Okay, you go to opera, you either love it or you hate it. I hate opera. Never want to go to an opera. I don't care. It was like, you got to watch Chicago. No, don't do no musical opera. Phantom of the Opera. No.
Chicago's not an opera.
Yeah, okay, it's a musical. It's the same thing. It's crap. I don't want to watch any of that shit. I don't like that. It's not different. It's the same thing. It's all. That's just my opinion, right? So see, you can be upset. You're like, Matt, that's ridiculous. You're being so petulant. It's fine. I'm going to be like the gun people. The second thing is hockey. You see it on TV, and people have a very negative reaction to it. But when you see the ice for the first time, Olivia, do you remember the first time you saw a sheet of ice?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what was it feeling like?
I was already drunk by that time. I don't remember.
Why is it always this way? Why can't you just make shit up? Why can't you just lie?
Well, I can remember the first time.
Why can't you just make it up? Why do you got to do that? I mean, every time I bring you in this conversation, you're like, I don't know. I don't remember. But you need to, because that's what's entertaining about the show is people want to hear your opinion. You're like, I don't know, shit-faced. Well, that doesn't help. You got to tell them because that's not what you said. That's not what you said when you saw it for the first time. But that's okay. Do you remember anything? Were you an alcoholic the whole time?
No, but we drank a little bit that night.
We drank that we drank that night, and that morning, and that night. So like we were always drunk then. Yeah. But you don't remember? Okay. Thanks, Liv. Appreciate it. Amy, have you ever seen a hockey game in person? Were you drunk too?
No, I wasn't. Not for my
How
first
did it?
one, but
How did it feel, Amy? Tell me. Tell Olivia so she can remember.
I remember because it was Game 7 of when the Caps were in the play. Game 7 was back then, and
Yeah.
Is it the finals?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
You went to the Stanley Cup final, Game 7?
Stanley Cup final, Game 7.
It was playoffs.
It's playoffs. Yes, it was playoffs. Last
Because
game.
when they won the cup, they didn't go to 7 games. Yeah, so it was
I
playoffs.
don't know. This is a long time ago.
I believe it was Eastern Conference Finals, but go ahead. Tell me.
Probably 20 years ago. I don't know.
Oh, shit. It was playoffs.
It's like
not
15,
finals.
20 years ago. I don't know. I was in my early 20s. And I remember
Are
that
you
game.
sure you weren't drunk?
I wasn't because, I don't like to go to DC, and I'm very nervous when I go to DC. Yeah, I don't drink when I go there typically because I want to be on my game. We had the worst seats, literally top of the stadium, last seat in the last row, at the very top. And it was the best experience. That was just so fun to actually see a hockey game live. It was amazing. It was the best.
So you have a
That's
different
all
reaction.
true.
And I know, I'm Olivia is probably the biggest hockey fan you guys will see outside of me. And it just shocks me because the first time it was like Ike and I were telling her that it's going to be an experience where you'll feel it or you'll just hate it. And, it smells different. The air is different than any other sporting event. The sounds are incredible. The first time it hits the glass and you're like, oh, it's just an experience. And you either, like I said, you love it or you hate it. And obviously Olivia did love it, no matter how drunk. I realized that we did have a few in the Avalanche bar at McNichols before the game. I was pretty drunk too because I actually think it was Greg.
You guys started flirting with the beer lady.
No. Yeah, we did, and you could only have two, and I said, well, I can carry 3, and she says, no, you can't, and I said, yes, I can, and she goes, well, I can only give you 2 because you only carry 2 in your hand. I said, that's bullshit. I can carry 3. And she goes, show me, and I showed her, and she gave me 3, and then Ike's like, I can carry 3. I'm like, dude, you're like 5'6", you can't carry 3. And he couldn't, but I could.
This was before cell phones because this was in 1999. So we had a camera that we took with us.
Yeah.
And the boys were so drunk they took the camera into the bathroom to take pictures
of our
of
penis.
them
Yeah.
peeing because they were that drunk.
We took pictures of our penis. And like carrying the beers, Ike was 5'6", and I was 6'4", so I had to use the panoramic lens, and he just used the 4x3. But the interesting thing is we went with Greg Krull, and we were drunk then too. And Greg Krull, that's when he famously told the New York Islanders goaltender DiPietro to told everyone on the ice to stab DiPietro with his skate.
I was not there for that one.
You weren't there for Krull?
I didn't go with Krull. The only person I went with was
okay. So
Ike.
it was just me and Krull. Anyway, so Krull, he's like Guido total guy, and he's sitting there, and it was really quiet in McNichols that night because sometimes the game slows down and it's just you just hear the ice and you hear the passing of the pucks and it's really quiet. And then there was a break and a TV timeout, and there was a little scrum right in front of the net, it just like there always were. I think Odgers was going after somebody on the Islanders, and they broke up and split, and then it's TV timeout. So everyone's at their respective benches. And then Greg Krull's like, DiPietro! He's like, the next time you start some shit, they're going to stab you with a fucking skate.
I can totally see him
the
doing
entire fucking, 17,000 people just go and look. And DiPietro looks up in the stands. He's like this, what the? And he's got a mask on, but he's like, what the? That's how loud it was. It was a memorable time. Anyway, the point is you have a very, you have a, you feel it.
I remember the kids' reactions the first time we took.
Yeah,
them to the game.
they stared. It's like a cathedral. It's like when you go to Yankee Stadium. So my point is, when you fire a gun, a weapon, whatever, you have a very cathartic reaction to it, and it's palpable. You feel something for sure. Nobody's indifferent. Like you either love it or you hate it. Olivia, now you weren't drunk for this one, were you? When you fired your first firearms with Mike for your firearms training, you felt what?
Well, the first time I actually shot a gun was in California, and I was freaking terrified. I was on edge for a week straight. I was anxious and every single day.
Thanks, Kathleen, for subscribing to the Dumb Nation. We appreciate you. This is where you have to stop and let me say it. Thank you very much for subscribing. Go ahead, Liv.
It felt like the hair was standing on the back of my neck for
Oh my God, you were such a liberal before you met me.
I was not. That wasn't. We'd already had children by that time, dear.
Oh.
That was in California where I went to that woman's gun class, remember?
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know you went to a woman's gun class. You didn't share this with me.
You're the one who registered me.
In California?
In Bakersfield, yeah.
Oh God, I remember that.
Yeah.
And you had to go solo because I had to watch the kids.
Yeah, you watched the kids, and it was a woman's gun class.
And you hated it. That's
and
right.
I was freaked out when I came home. But
folks, you can donate at linktapghost.com/thedumshow. All you got to do is go ahead and click that, and you'll see tip and donate. Donate to PayPal, and we'll keep it secret. And if you tip, it'll pop up. You get your name and lights and all that type of stuff. I also will sell just about anything. If you want me to say happy birthday to you, it's $1 per letter. Okay, great. I'm just kidding. I'll do it for free. Go ahead, Liv.
So I mean, okay, I grew up in Montana, and I grew up shooting guns. Okay, I grew up.
Just tell them, California, you were nervous, right?
I was nervous, and there's a good reason for that. There's a story behind it, but I won't bore you with it. But there was a good reason why I was nervous shooting a handgun.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Very good reason, and I mean, I learned to shoot when I was 6, and I grew up shooting .22 and a rifle. And the long story short, one of my friends in 8th grade died by handgun. And I became terrified of handguns at that point. And so I was a little freaked out shooting a handgun, and I was terrified. But came here, and our neighbor and good friend, he's a gun instructor, and he took me to a class, and I shot the gun, and I had a blast, and I'm ready to go do it again. I want to go shoot the AR too.
Yeah.
So
So you have a reaction to it. Amy, you fired a weapon, right?
Yeah. I remember.
You loved it?
I'm kind of like Liv. Rifles, I don't remember my first rifle, but I remember shooting my first handgun, and I enjoyed the experience, but it was such an adrenaline rush for me that I actually cried after the first shot, and I just
God, it was kind of like sex with Jason, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Too much for me to handle.
Too much of a man. Away. Too much of a man, baby. Those aren't tears of sadness. Those are tears of joy. I promise.
It's pretty accurate too. I was pretty terrified at the first time. I was like, I don't know what I signed up for.
Oh, I love it. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, that was it though. Yeah. I remember my first time. It was great. It was terrifying, but fun. And yeah, I mean, I was hooked.
Well, so the point is that those guys look like they had a good time. They were joking around and having fun. And then they come back and they're like, well, time to come back to reality. Now we got to go ahead and be, sissies about it. And
I think they were putting on for the camera.
Of course.
I think they
had a good
themselves.
time, man. I mean, listen, firing a weapon is not for everybody, right? It's messy and it can sting. You'll be amazed how many little nicks and scratches you get from using a firearm. It's a piece of metal. And it's moving super fast.
I'm happy I was wearing a hat that one.
Yeah, but it's not just the brass. I mean, the gun bites you sometimes. I mean, I've gotten bit by a firearm before. M1 thumb was the worst in the world. I've had M1 thumb and got the bolt caught on my thumb. I've had my Glocks bite me. I've had Sig Sauers bite me before. Trying out a new grip or doing double tang grip or whatever. You're trying new things and drawing a certain way. Sometimes you can, when you go in and picking up your weapon and super fast, you can get it caught in between the grooves of the weapon and you get little nicks. And then you mix that with the oil and the grease from the gun and then the powder, and it can get into those cuts and it stings and it just, sometimes it's just uncomfortable. Sometimes you hold a weapon wrong and you tweak your shoulder or you get an impact from a shotgun and it leaves a little bit of a kick. And then it's uncomfortable for the rest of the shot. You can get some brass down your back of your shirt, which is the worst. You might as well go ahead. You've seen people jump around with an ice cube. You have no idea when it's a hot brass. So, sometimes it can get uncomfortable when you're firing, but you either love it or you hate it. That's it. And there might be some things that you don't love about it, but overall, it's something you tried, you laughed, you had a good time. And if that's a bad time, I'd hate to see a really bad time. Maybe Canadians just need to get rid of Trudeau and remember how to have some fun again. Seriously. But
wait, really quick. No, okay, and really quick. No, my child cannot hear the conversation we're having.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna. She's wearing headphones, guys. I've been doing this 3 years. I've never cussed in front of that little girl.
Is she feeling okay?
No, she's been, yeah, but it's not anything new. We're trying to figure out what's going on with her now. There's something else going on. So it's like, and yesterday and today have been pretty tough days. So back to the doctor tomorrow.
God bless. And Amy, you know me. I've never cussed. I've never even said
No,
a bad
but
word
I
in
saw
front
in
of
the
her.
comments. Yeah. And I'm like, no, she cannot hear anything.
She's wearing headphones, folks.
Yeah.
So sorry. I know that because I produced a show and I do the sound checks, and I knew she was wearing headphones. So I would never, ever cuss in front of a child, unless they're my kids. And I do it all the time. Hayden, shut the fuck.
Well, I don't think it was the cussing either. I think we were having other conversations.
The Jason
comment. Yeah, she knows. Listen. You're not a child unless you've accidentally walked in on your parents. I'm just saying. You haven't really lived until you've had that experience. Or you share a wall with them in the house that has no soundproofing. My poor daughter is
she's so happy she's in the basement.
She's like, I'm like, you want to move to the basement, honey? She's like, yes. I'm like, well, you seem really excited. Why? She's like, I just can't wait. I want to get, it's because it's quiet and I won't hear things.
And we're like, Ethan, do you want the bigger room? Nope. He's like, nope, I'm good. My room's perfect. I like my room.
Katie, what are you talking about? She's like, Dad, I don't feel comfortable talking about it. But what are you talking about, sweetie? What? Now I'm concerned. What's wrong? Is it the mom and daddy's two TV set? She's like, Dad, I don't want to talk about it. You and mom love each other and it's obvious. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm so embarrassed. Shame. It's not me, it's her. It's Olivia. Like, I'm quiet as a fucking mouse. It's her. Mm-hmm. She is a banshee.
It's your fault.
She's a banshee. So I'm kind of like this. Shh. Now that we've had this conversation,
we had a question.
What?
They want to know if we have taught Hayden and Ethan to shoot.
Yeah, the basic principles of firing. Yeah,
they've shot the 22.
Yeah, basic principles of firing a weapon, and if anybody came to this house, they could manage a 22 rifle and any of my handguns, and they would be fine. They know how to clear a weapon, they know how to clear a jam, they know how to engage and rack around and put it down range. Yeah. So, yeah. And we taught them about handgun safety. Hayden, Ethan, come here. Hold on. They're coming. Come here quick.
Where's your brother?
You're not going to be on camera? Why? Is your shirt too high again? We have a question. Okay. Come here. What's the number one rule about the gun? You don't have to go on camera, just talk here. What's the number one rules about the gun in the house?
What's the number one rules about the guns?
Don't touch it unless you have to. Like if you need to defend yourself, but that's the only time.
What else?
And don't play with it.
What else?
Finger off the trigger.
Finger off the trigger. What happens when one of your friends tries to grab it?
You scream.
You tell them not to do that
or
and push them away.
That's right. And what is a gun?
A weapon only used for self-defense.
Okay.
Pew pew.
It's a pew pew, and I call it a what? It's a
firearm.
Or a tool, right?
Yes.
Just like a screwdriver or a hammer. Have you guys touched? When I ask every morning when we go out to breakfast or leave, I ask when are you going to grab my gun, right? Mm-hmm. And you guys have handled it how many times?
Several.
Mostly me a lot.
Not several. It's not several. Several's 3.
Oh, a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot for me.
Okay, get out.
Glenn's like, number one rule, treat it like it's loaded. It is loaded.
It is loaded. It's always loaded. An unloaded firearm is a useless weapon.
Love you guys. What?
They treat number one rule as far as the kids. They understand the number one rule as far as firearm safety. But in this house, handling it and what it's used for is a little bit different. They understand you don't put your finger on the trigger. You treat it like its own. It's loaded. You don't aim it at anything you don't intend on destroying. So they know the basics. What I'm talking about is house rules here, is that they have a gun every 20 feet in this house. And I love you. They know to keep it away from the kids. And every time a child walks into this house, I educate them on the firearm, whether their parents want them to or not. Because you're in my house and there's guns here. And I tell the kids there are firearms throughout this house. You will not find them even if you look. but you need to be warned about it. So that's it. I taught them that it's a tool, that it's like a screwdriver. And people are like, oh, you have guns laying around. I said, so what? I have screwdrivers. I have a knife laying around too. They don't play with this either. They know you don't touch it. The only time you touch it is if there's a threat in the home. And you'd be amazed at how they listen, because I've taken away the curiosity. I've completely made it an obsolete, immaterial object. All right, we got to move. Byron Daniels drops the bomb. We're going to go ahead and just do AOC, and then we're going to call it a night. Byron Daniels, I'll probably save this for tomorrow's show, does an amazing job of, well, we got 5 minutes. Let's just do it. I think.
To the actual paper trail of money flow from the CEFC into the bank account.
All right, so he breaks down the Biden case from conception to birth here and does a pretty amazing job. Now, I'm under the mindset that Republicans need to shit or get off the pot, okay? They either need to charge him with specific crimes or shut the hell up. But this would go a long way if all of them were on the same page. Listen
Hearing so far, let's actually get to the actual paper trail of money flow from the CEFC into the bank account for President Joe Biden. And I want to start with a text message, July 31, WhatsApp text message between Hunter Biden and one Mr. Zhao. Real quick, Mr. Bobulinski, who is Mr. Zhao?
Congressman Donalds, I'd just actually like to spend 20 seconds. If you noticed, Congressman Khanna scurried out of here very quickly, and I'm actually disgusted as I sit here that he didn't address me based on the fact that I'm sitting here in front of the world trying to testify to the truth. In October 2020, I have messages I'm willing to produce to both the Democrats and the Republicans that Ro Khanna sent to me saying, you have always demonstrated to me that you're nothing but an honest with the highest integrity individual, and I was begging for him to go on CNN and tell the world in October 2020. I have extensive emails with Congressman Ro Khanna in 2021 and 2022.
Kevin, Liv, ban Shaber. If we ever get somebody comes there, I can make your podcast look better. No, you can't. I have one of the best looking podcasts in the game. So go suck me sideways.
Who is it?
Just rumbles. Ban him. You'll see it.
Where I begged him and his staff to sit down with me and look at my BlackBerry phones that the Democrats are so focused on, to hire forensics experts and go through all of the factual information I had. So the fact that he did not even address me and then scurried out of here is disgusting to me.
All right.
Sorry, Mr. Donalds. I'll answer your question now.
All right, so we're gonna have to come off of that because now we're at 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Yep. Mr. Chairman, for the record, I want to submit into the record 2 different WhatsApp text messages. One, July 31, between Hunter Biden and Mr. Zhao of CEFC, which stipulates that Hunter Biden wants to be able to move on from and get the contract resolved.
Sandra Billies is a porn star. Ban her ass. Sandra Billies. That's not how you do. You don't pluralize your name, dipshit. Thank you, Korean bot. Someone ban her ass. She's a porn star.
Deal resolved, and that
Not that I would know that. I mean, I'm just saying, Liv, I promise.
Mr. Zhao responds and says, yes, the CEFC is willing to cooperate with the family. On August 31, there's another exchange, this time August 3rd, 2017, between Hunter Biden and Mr. Ganwei Dong. And in this message, they're talking about the stipulations of the arrangement between the Biden family and CEFC. I want to submit both WhatsApp text messages for the record, Mr. Chairman.
Without objection to order.
Okay, now to the money flow, because this is where the rubber meets the road. On August 3rd, they actually stipulate through WhatsApp text messages the exact stipulations of the deal. On August 4th.
Yeah, it's Byron Daniels. I'm tired. Cut me some slack.
$100,000 is wired into Owasco PC from CEFC infrastructure. Mr. Chairman, I want to submit for the record a portion of the bank statement for the time period August 3rd of 2017 to August 31, 2017, stipulating $100,000 going from CEFC into the bank account of Hunter Biden through Owasco PC.
Without objection to ordered.
On August 8th, 4 days later, $5 million is then transferred from the Northern International Capital account of $5 million to Hudson West III. Hudson West III.
Folks, we're 3 likes away from 100. What's hilarious is that we have 160 people on, 200 plus, 250 with Twitter and everywhere else. Folks, will you please like the feed? I got to stop. I can't keep asking. Please, God saves a puppy every time you do it. Amy is trying to get breast reduction surgery. It won't happen without your likes. Please
I'm
take care.
trying to get a boob job.
Yes, well, Amy's going to donate. Amy's going to donate part of her boobs to Olivia. We're a family here. We're a small community.
Sharing is caring, Amy.
Sharing is caring. So can you help out by liking the show? There we go, 107. That wasn't really hard, was it, people? Wasn't that tough? I shouldn't have to keep asking, should I? You should just do it automatically. You should be like making your bed or brushing your teeth or just getting up and liking the show.
They could be like our 10-year-old where we have to remind him every day to brush his teeth.
It seems like that's the way this is going lately. Oh, 118. I just got 25 in a matter of seconds. Yeah, come on, folks. Thank you.
It's a bank account controlled by Hunter Biden and Mr. Gone Wang, a.k.a. Kevin Dong.
Why do all these people sound like a dildo company?
Right.
Dong and Wang and Chong and I can't wait for this guy. Hetty Penis. Hetty Penis has a text message.
Who was a CEFC associate. That money comes from the Northern International Capital bank account, a bank account that is tied to the CCP. Mr. Chairman, I want to submit for the record.
We haven't played Diablo 4. We're so pissed off at this game right now. Olivia and I have completely boycotted Diablo 4 until season 4. They're just not. They're not keeping up with it. The end game sucks. I mean, we're just running characters to 100 every season, and we're kind of like, dude, what's the point? They need end game. They need itemization. They need end game gear, and they need some bosses that are actually fun to fight. So we're pissed at Diablo right now. Just FYI, we're playing Halo. We're just like we're taking a break.
Record the bank statement demonstrating that transfer.
No, you can like inside, but you have to like outside. You have to actually like the video before. All the likes inside really don't do anything at all. It's nice. I mean, you can do it. It shows appreciation. It's kind of cool, but it's physically going out and liking the feed before you come in. That's the one that really helps, and sharing it too. Thanks, all.
Without objection, so ordered.
Okay, moving on. On August 8th, the same time period, there is a wire transfer of $400,000.
So he walks us through this. Now, AOC is, oh man, this woman, this is a complete meltdown. I mean, seriously, for someone who's so good looking at times, when she talks, she ruins it. She just ruins it. I just wish she wouldn't talk. I mean, God, it's like Britney Spears, just mute her when she was younger. Not now. Now she collects knives. Yeah. She looks like a meth head. So, allegedly. All right, AOC.
Mr. Bobulinski, I heard your opening statement. It's submitted to the record, part of our proceedings. I have a quick question. Simple.
I wish I was there. I'm like 12 inches, AOC. What's next? Go ahead. Second question, please.
Is it your testimony today that you personally witnessed President Joe Biden commit a crime?
Who? I'm not familiar with that name.
I believe the fact that he was sitting with me while I was putting together a business
Did you
deal,
witness the president commit a crime? Is it your testimony today?
Yes.
And what crime have you witnessed?
How much time do I have to go through it?
It is simple. You name the crime. Did you watch him steal something?
Corruption statutes, RICO and conspiracy.
What is it? What is the crime, sir? Specifically.
You asked me to answer the question. I answered the question.
No.
RICO, you're obviously not familiar with. Corruption
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. RICO is not a crime. It is a category. What is the
It's a category of crime.
Well, if he comes over illegal, RICO is definitely fucking a crime. If he comes over the border.
I know.
RICO,
I just, the head shake. Oh, it drives me
RICO's
crazy.
a statute, you dumb bimbo. It's not a category. It's a statute. And there are several different iterations of a RICO case. And for you to sit here and say that you want him to somehow pull it out of his ass and tell you what statute was violated, he's trying to tell you. The problem is this. None of this matters. Stop talking about it and do something. Charge him with a crime. Formulate a grand jury, a special counsel, and nail him. You can't. because you don't have enough. Because unfortunately, you know what will happen. If you pull at this thread, every single Republican is going to go down with him, because this type of shit has been going on in politics since God was a corporal. They don't want the truth. They don't want to find the truth. This is ridiculous. It's a category like American Bandstand. It's so train.
Times that you're then charged.
You
under
have charges.
A long 100.
You have charges. Sir, please
Want me to name the exact statute
Sir,
under RICO?
yes.
Well, it's funny. In this committee room, everyone's not here. There's over 18
All right, sir, I reclaim my
lawyers
time.
that
I
went to
reclaim
law
my
school.
time. I
I'll leave
reclaim
it
my
up to
time.
you guys
Okay,
to
thank
define
you,
the
sir. I
statute
reclaim my
under
time.
RICO.
I love that. There's there's 18 lawyers here. I love Bobolinsky, man. This guy's military. He's unflappable. He's actually a credible witness, but this is the problem.
You can't handle the truth.
That's part of it. But every time they bring a witness forward, they go ahead and arrest him. And they say that he's guilty of freaking Russian collusion and that he's a nutso and he has a bad eval in the FBI. You guys don't want the truth. It's right there in front of you. I mean, God almighty, this isn't hard. Look at what he makes. Look at his income tax. At the very simple argument is, look at what he's gotten paid over 47 years, and not all of it is books. Not all of it is speaking fees. There's some very fishy monies that are in his possession. And here's the thing. Why do you have 13 shell companies? Okay, if you're not doing something wrong, why do you have 13 shell companies? Right there alone, it deserves investigation. If you're going to get Donald Trump because allegedly he finger banged a girl in a dressing room and raped her when he didn't touch her, because that's what it says, how you rape somebody when you don't even touch them, I don't get it. I don't understand. And if you go ahead and
maybe it was 2020, they were 6 feet apart.
I don't know. Well, maybe with me, but I don't know about Donald. I don't understand. And if you're going to go ahead and say that a bank lent him money and he paid back the loan and they both made profit, somehow that's illegal. If you can do that shit and you can make up P-tapes and FISA warrants and put spies in his campaign, then you can connect the dots that 13 shell companies might be exactly what it is, a shell game. And this is why they can't find the monies. They can't find the receipts. Because every time they try to propose any type of legislation or any type of investigation, the Democrats shut it down and arrest their witnesses.
Clearly, what we are seeing here today is a continuation of the 15-month saga of the Republican majority lost in the desert. Impeachment 101.
I don't understand.
The majority party.
I don't understand the analogy.
She's looking for the magic lamp in Agrabah.
The
apparently.
desert?
Or
Lady,
the mirage? I don't know. Like it's
isn't she Cuban? I don't understand. Why are you mixing Egyptian lore and what is she, Muslim now?
Raising impeachment must accuse the president of a high crime, a specific high crime or misdemeanor. I would like to submit to the record HRES 918.
I've got one. How about quid pro quo with Afghanistan and the president, where he said either you go ahead and use the strategy for infiltration with the Afghan army against Al-Qaeda forces and Taliban forces, or we're going to go ahead and pull intel and pull air support from you. That's quid pro quo. How about this? Bill, go ahead, Liv.
Did she just say that you have to accuse him of a crime to do the impeachment? Because they didn't do that with Trump. They impeached him just because he was president.
Well, they impeached him. They said that it was obstruction of justice and also because of quid pro quo. But the same thing can be said about Joe Biden with the $1 billion with Burisma and him literally on tape. This was a phone call that was not recorded, that was taken ostensibly by memory. And they went ahead and charged him for it. Do you guys understand that wasn't a teletype? It wasn't a recording. It wasn't video of the phone call. Someone actually wrote it down like a stenographer. So the accuracies are not perfect in that, yet they went ahead and impeached him for it. You've got a video of Joe Biden bragging about Obama and $1 billion and fire the prosecutor, which is quid pro quo. In any way you slice it, getting policy for dollars, it's right there. Just do something about it, for God's sake. Jump in Georgia. It's like these people are Canadian.
House resolution to open this impeachment inquiry.
Without objection to order.
This resolution does not outline a high crime or misdemeanor. It's not here. Now, when we compare the chairman's opening from his previous opening, he's talking about Ukraine and Burisma and all of this. This entire inquiry is based on a blockbuster piece of information that was in a classified SCIF room. And inside that room was a document alleging President Biden directly of a $10 million bribery scheme, a $10 million bribery scheme, extremely serious. What happened? What happened a month ago, Mr. Chairman? That document, the FBI arrested the person who offered those allegations for falsifying his testimony to the FBI. This entire impeachment inquiry is based on an actual, provable individual who has lied. Now, responsible leadership would withdraw an inquiry based on that. Withdraw it. Instead, what we are seeing is that this committee was warned about the falsehoods of these.
For those people on Spreely TV, our 9 o'clock time slot is almost done. You can come over on Facebook. You can come over. We've got 200 plus people on right now. Obviously, you're enjoying the show. More than that, we've almost got 300 on because we've got Rumble, we've got Twitter and YouTube. I see you all in the Romper Room, Don't Unfriend Me mirror. But if you are on Spreely, hop on over to YouTube, come over to Rumble, come over to Facebook, Twitter. We would love to see you, but we don't want to bump anyone else's time slot. So stick with us. We're going to be around for a few more. Olivia, how are we doing on the other channels?
52 on Rumble. The other channels I can't see.
Right. So, well, now we're over to, there's 257 all in, and then we have YouTube and Spreely and Rumble, or Spreely and, yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Here's the rest of AOC's gripping testimony.
These allegations long before.
If I was Bob Alinsky, I'd be like, excuse me, ma'am, I'm a little parched. Could you go ahead and get me a dry martini straight up?
Warned by Trump's Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and yet they proceeded anyway. The chairman proceeded anyway. This committee was warned by Rudy Giuliani associate right here, Lev Parnas, after that document about the falsehoods of this. Then held hearings where your own expert witnesses said that there was no grounds for impeachment, and you proceeded anyway. And finally, as if none of this was enough, the FBI arrested the individual who was the source of the entire, to quote the chairman, heart of the matter, to launch this impeachment inquiry, and proceeded anyway. At this point, the story is not the fact that the basis of this impeachment inquiry is wrong. The story is why it's proceeding anyway. Why is this committee proceeding based on false charges? And
look, she's gonna cry again. Oh, if I only had a brain.
Look at that picture. Well, because little lady, sorry. Oh God, I hope she can bake tamales because her husband's gonna need her too. Here's the thing, is that this impeachment inquiry was long before that. And this is also, okay, 46 intelligence agencies suppressed the Hunter Biden story. Okay? That's it. End of story. You told newspapers to suppress the story. 67% of eligible voters for 2020 said that their vote more than likely would have been changed. That's better than any Russian fucking collusion that never happened. They didn't prove that one vote was changed because of Russian collusion, Russian interference. But you have 67% of the electorate saying that their vote more than likely would have changed away from Joe Biden or simply not voted if they would have known about the Hunter Biden story before 2020. To sit here and say that your credibility is somehow more important because one person did something that more than likely, fine, that happens. If you think it didn't happen in the Russian collusion case, why don't we talk to Adam Schiff, who went ahead and opened up and worked with Russian state assets when a radio station called and pretended to be Russia and said they had information on Donald Trump, and he played ball. and they identified themselves as Russian agents, and he fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. If you haven't heard the tape, go listen to it. It's live for you anytime you want on YouTube. So let me ask you a question. Is it just that when impropriety is real and it's proven, or can the suspicion of impropriety happen? That's why you have an inquiry, you dipshit. So you start looking into these things, because without it, we never will know the truth. Does it mean that Joe Biden is guilty of everything the Republicans are saying? No. But is there enough there? Is there enough smoke there to find out if there actually is fire? Yes, that's why we're doing this.
Julie, I can't pronounce the last name, has the best comment.
Margulies?
No. It's YT.
Hatawachachakamaka?
Something like that. I don't know.
Okay. She's from Hawaii. Go ahead.
Okay. She said AOC with the picture. My brain cell is this big.
Yeah.
And that's
I think she
perfect caption for the picture.
Listen, AOC and I have a special relationship. What I think she was trying to say is Matt's penis is this big. That's what she was trying to say. So
I can attest to that.
Yeah, and she's a little off. She's using the metric system, and I really would appreciate it if she would just move right to yards and just, she's doing girth right now. She hasn't done. She's not doing length yet. So anyway.
And by the way, no charges. I have yet to hear in the chairman's opening the allegation.
Lady, you can take your fingers out of your ears. They fucking got it. This isn't a method act.
That they are specifically charging the president of the United States with.
Dude, take your fingers out of your ears.
I'm hearing about Biden.
Well, you can't hear anything with your fingers in your ears.
Family. I'm hearing about this and that. I am not hearing the specific allegation by this committee.
46 intelligence agencies suppressed the Hunter Biden story. That's all you need to know. It was an intelligence effort to suppress the story. You don't think that they're going to arrest anyone who comes forward? Has anyone here worked in an intelligence agency? I have. Let me tell you what happens when somebody goes rogue. They get blacklisted. The FBI will not allow their people to flip and break the code and the time-honored tradition. Anyone that comes out and squeals, or anybody that does the whistleblower status without getting whistleblower status, they will persecute to the full extent of the law. And these people were not issued whistleblower status because of the Democrats. This isn't that hard. Look at Colonel Pussification Vindman, who was a whistleblower. That guy, you want to know what his excuse was? I don't like Donald Trump. That was it. I don't like him. So I'm going to tell you what me and my buddies all heard that never happened. I heard from my brother's sister's cousin's uncle's roommate. What does that make us? Absolutely nothing. Give me a break. It's all speculation. Yet you have FBI, military personnel, partners of the Bidens sitting here saying this. You're like, yeah, it just doesn't really, it really doesn't sound good to me. This doesn't seem legitimate.
What is it? It's not here. And that is the problem. The story is when this committee knew that they were working with falsified evidence. That's the story. And with that, I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back.
Last minute of the show, we're going to wrap it up, folks. If you have not had a chance, I hurt my arm shooting three-pointers for the Denver Nuggets. Allen Iverson and I grew up together. We're brothers. And I got to get surgery in my my shooting arm. Otherwise, the Nuggets aren't going to win the national championship again. So I need your help. If you would go to linktapgo/the DUM Show, the moderators, the wonderful, beautiful moderators who are pissing me off by saying that the F is a J in my new design. I don't like them very much, but they are here and they're free, so I don't have much of a choice. But thank them for being here and helping me. We're going to put up the link in just a second. Please do me a favor. If you haven't had a chance, donate to the show. It doesn't take a lot. I mean, to us, you might think that, Donald Trump, you give him $100, $1,000, $10,000, he won't even notice. Well, we feel that same way about $10. We will notice $10. In fact, it could change our lives. In fact, our anniversary is coming up, and I want to buy Olivia a Pepsi. And I just really want to kind of give her that once a year. Yeah, she deserves a Pepsi at least once a year. So we're going to do that, let her come out of her cage and probably take a shower too, maybe eat something. We need your help. And the best way to do that is by donating to the show. You can do that anonymously, or you can do it for all the world to see. It'll pop up on the show. We appreciate you. Or you can go to thedumshow.com, buy yourself cool hats, some shirts that Amy's wearing, Olivia's wearing, not wearing because she's a Houston Astros fan and the baseball season's starting here really shortly. Thanks for watching the Donut Fremy Show. Amy, you get your 1 minute. Take us out.
I just want to comment on AOC. I can't stand her at all. Like, I have no patience for her. I just wish that someone would tell her like she needs some media training or how to speak in public. Like, why has she not had this formal training? That's kind of part of the job. Who's her handler? She drives me crazy. She's on stage all the time. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
That's my one.
I just can't wait till her political career is over and she gets an OnlyFans account. That's what I'm really excited about. Liv?
OnlyFans account.
I would subscribe just out of curiosity's sake, just see if the carpet matches the drapes. I don't know. I'm interested to find. Listen, I don't have a problem with AOC. She's harmless. She's completely harmless. She's never proposed any legislation. The only thing she did was $99 trillion for the Green New Deal. She doesn't do any harm. She talks more shit about Joe Biden than doesn't. She's harmless. She's like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Nobody takes her seriously. The problem is when she tries to pretend she's serious, she winds up just looking like the stupid cheerleader. It's like
part of the plan.
Why do you do that right when I'm talking?
My finger slipped.
Yeah, I'm sure it has. Just like it's done the other 47 times tonight. You're worse than the intelligence agencies trying to suppress the story.
Well, I'm actually using the soundboard at funny times. So
yeah, but you can't even remember when you saw your first sheet of ice. But
I was drunk.
You were always drunk back then. You don't remember us getting married either, I'm sure. Oh, no wonder why you can't remember Hayden and Ethan's name. You don't remember when we got pregnant.
That's a good point. I'm a drunk. I need to go to AA.
Liv, final minute. Go for it, baby. What do you got?
Well, I was going to do it's all part of the plan, but my finger slipped, like I said.
All right, folks.
Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
Yes, we'll be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. We'll have a recorded show in the morning. We'll have news throughout the day. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. That's Amy. That's Olivia. My name's Matt. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate you. God bless. Take care of each other. See you tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
Y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll never get it up.
I know. We're going to have to get it.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.